Oh, hello all. This is Chris at MyFactoryModels. This is a Revell chat on the Revell Victor Kmart 2 tanker conversion into a 1960s B.1, the original bomber look, the B.1 look. It's basically just a Revell chat, which I guess I should have really put this video out, or put this video up before the preceding one of the build photos, but you know, hey ho, not the end of the world. Just maybe the sequence might have worked better that way, but it's not that important. So yeah, I mean, what did I expect to achieve from this? Was it a success, this build? To me personally, only just. Certainly learnt from it. Fun? No, this was not a fun build at all, really. It was more of a learning build, or a learning curve. There was a lot of hard graft in it. A lot of hard graft, mainly due to such a, you know, a pretty, oh, and here we go, the poor workman blaming his tools, but it really was a terribly ill-fitting kit. You know, I know it's an old mould and everything, but I thought it was pretty bad. But in one way, that worked in my favour because I was hacking the thing up anyway. So it was getting chopped about and played around with and experimented with, especially the wings. Well, mainly the wings really, and the tailpiece. But yeah, so it was a lot of frustration as well. All down mainly due to the panel linings, which the rescribing the panel lines, which in fact I've lost count how many times I tried to do that, which wouldn't have been too bad in itself, but it is a tedious and time consuming activity, and I don't recommend it unless you've got to do it, or really perversely want to do it, I don't know. But I did make a lot of mistakes on the rescribing, lots of slips. Some of the panel lining was too deep, which I've had to go over so many times with layers of paint and varnish to try and tone it down. But in the end, you know, it's come out. I've got a B1. That's more what I'm excited about. You know, at least I've got a B1. I can put it on the shelf, and then maybe in a couple of years I'll think, my God, did I go through all that grief just to make this model? But I'll probably be quite chuffed with it then. It's certainly not the best B1 out there. There's a lot better ones online, a lot smoother finishes. I mean, it's not bad, but yeah, again, I mean, the one thing I'm disappointed with overall is the paint finish. It should have been smoother. It's a bit rough and patchy in parts, and that is basically down to all the rescribing, because then I had to keep layering different areas. There were, you know, marks to cover up, so it's not uniform. It's not a uniform smoothness, but you know, apart from that, I'm reasonably happy with it. You know, it's one of those romantic notions or visions of, you know, yeah, hey, let's do this. You don't really see the work involved. You know, what's the practical reality? You know, in my case, it probably wasn't even there. But finally, it has manifested itself. And the end result, you know, like I say, it's a bit cruder than I wanted, but you know, it's got the look, and that's all I'm really bothered about. And it also saved me a lot of money on you know, out of the box parts, resin parts, which probably would have done a better job, that had been more accurate, but I didn't use anything like that. So there's no aftermarket parts on this whatsoever. It's just filing, sanding, you know, the air intakes being taken right down, slimmed down with milliput. That was a devil of a job, that was. That's a real devil of a job. That does test your skills out. I mean, they're not as smooth as I wanted either, but I had to do that so many times. They're even then, they're a lot slimmer now and more elegant than the original intake, which was kind of huge in comparison. It was, you know, it was a lot bigger. So that was fun doing that. You know, so, and the main thing to me, I don't have the clumsy looking tanker version. You know, that's my own personal view on it. It's a clunky looking thing, the tanker version, but the B1 I think is a beautiful shape, you know, timeless shape. he waxes. Yeah, I mean, it was just a bit. Apart from that, it was a terribly, you know, badly fitting mould. But now the project's over. There'll probably be a few parts where I can touch up later when I'm in the mood. I'll just get it out of the cupboard. I'll put it away, get it out of the cupboard, and then touch up some parts. Try and refine it a little bit. Just painting basically. But you know, to all intents and purposes, she's finished. Probably what helped save it was these great decals from On Target decals at Air Graphic Models. You get a nice little book with them. Unfortunately, you didn't get any roundels or tail flashes. The idea is that you use them from other kits. The trouble is the Revell Victor kit didn't have the correct roundels for the period. So that's some of the one I've actually, the Victor I've made is the Handley Page Victor B.1. This is XH591. Here we are, look. We are XH591 15 Squadron. That's RAF, based at RAF Cottesmore. That's May 62. So that's the 1962 version. Here we've got XH591 RAF Cottesmore. And the Air Graphic decals, they are excellent. I had no problems with them apart from my own fiddling around trying to get them to line up. Such as on the tail there, all the numbers are separate on the sheet. It's not one number, so you've got to line those up carefully. And also the tail decals are a little bit overlapping there. They should have been a bit further up, but apart from that, you know, they're excellent decals, excellent. The fuselage side roundels and the wing roundels are hand painted because I couldn't get hold of I wasn't going to pay another £15 for some roundels because I didn't have them on the Revell sheet. The same with the tail flash here, that's hand painted. Well, that's possibly a little bit too large. I think it might have been better if it was a slightly smaller scale. Also underneath you've got the XH591 number there. They're also separate, so you've got to line those up. That's the only problem I had with one of those, which I think, yep, I think one of those almost broke, but that was my fault, not the decal company. Because I say, the decal company, you know, they're really excellent, and you get, like I say, you get this little book with it. You get little plans on where the decals are to go on the aircraft, or which year you're choosing, whether it's the anti-flash one or a bit later, I think. But you know, it's an excellent little book. The plans, the diagrams they're a little bit tiny, but you know, you can't complain. It came you know with the decals, so that's great. So you actually know where they're meant to go. You know, even somebody who's a complete novice to this, if they built this plane and they bought these decals with all these different versions, you'll know exactly where the decals go on the left or the right. You know, what part of the fuselage, etc., etc. So, excuse me, folks. So there we have her. And like I say, I've posted up some previously a little build sequence of photographs showing her in all her glory. But yeah, the other thing is that I think that, you know, some people have mentioned. Other modelers have mentioned online is, well, on YouTube, is you've really got to watch these HD cameras, because in the flesh, in real life, I thought I've done a fairly good job. It still needs a little bit of sanding actually around the cockpit. It just needs, the canopy there needs smoothing a bit from the milli put. But in real life, you can barely see it. It kind of blends in quite nicely. But then on the photograph, you know, you've got a bump sticking out But of course, you've posted the video, it's too late. But they're just fussy. I mean, I know it bothers some people. It doesn't really bother me that much, but I can rectify that. But you do have to be careful with these HD cameras, because they do tend to like over magnify things, you know, the over detail things. But yeah, I mean, so apart from getting the etching in some of the panel lines too deeply, the panel lines are a little bit too prominent for me. But you know, I'd have preferred it if they're toned down a little bit more. But I have addressed that in certain areas, and I can also, you know, if it does bother me that much, I can also go back to it a bit later at another point when I'm in the mood to, like I say, just tone her down a bit. So, yeah, good to have it. Good to have it built. I mean, it's a big model. I mean, there's not bigger models out there, but it's a big model, and I think I'll stick to slightly smaller models, because you do need room for these things. There's nowhere to put them. I mean, I'm living in a small, you know, 2-bedroom flat, so I'm pretty limited for space when it comes to big models like this. But okay, so that's a little story behind the B.1 Victor conversion to XH591 from the Revell Mark II, Mark II 1/72nd scale model, and I'll see you all on the next video, hopefully. Not sure what's coming next. It could well be I think it's the Junkers, the JU87 is the next one in 1/72nd scale, which that's the current little project that I'm messing around with at the moment, and so that hopefully that'll be the next video. So without me umming and ahhing and waffling on any longer, I shall leave you all alone with some peace of mind, and yeah, see you on the next video. Bye for now.